Hey everyone, new day, new content, fresh 9.2. So the last key I did was a 17 HOA. We try a 16 Spires instead. Kind of bring it back one. We learned a lot from that first key, especially dealing with the new seasonal affix. So, yeah, we're going to attempt this and have some fun. Word to the wise, be careful doing fleshcraft around your friends who play priest. Especially if you commit if you commit a vampiric blood to bolster that shield. Gotta be careful. Alright, so it's bolstering, tyrannical, explosive, and then the new affix.
I'll get the left castigator.
Yeah, I was kind of overloaded here, trying to like think of everything on the screen and then make sure I'm surviving okay. I actually didn't even press my A-bomb limb here, which was a big mistake, but you know, everything turns out okay. But I should have done the limb. That's so much damage I'm missing out on right now for literally no reason. So one thing we have decided after doing this, a few things. It seems like for trash, killing the one, not the haste buff, not Vi, but killing for the cooldown reduction, healing, and mana seems to be very strong. So it seems like for us, we are going to probably trying to do, is what we're thinking about doing. We're thinking about killing on trash packs and then Vi on bosses for the haste. Yeah, so we're talking here in the chat or in our Discord. It's very important that we prioritize damage on the guy who's going to give us the buff, not kill him at the end or not just simply passive cleave him. We should be actively trying to bring him down first. And as the key progresses, we get much better at that, and then we get to get way more use out of the buff. So, someone in my YouTube asked me how to prioritize damage to get more damage. And one of my answers is pull bigger. In this dungeon, you really can't. It's very like on rails. You can't really pull bigger. It really helps if you use your Covenant ability like A-bomb limb, which I didn't do. So aside from those kind of things, you can take a DPS trinket. So right now I'm using Vial of Putrefaction, Vial of Putrefaction, or however you want to say it. That's one thing that can help. Taking Bone Storm, if you're good at managing your resources, or if you're always overcapping your resources, you might make good use out of Bone Storm. Keep in mind, if you use Bone Storm, it is a huge net loss if you use it on just one target. Other than that, weaving in blood boils often. So you want to do like, I don't know, hard strike, blood boil. Keep your dancing rune or your bone stacks up. So do a Mararend or whatever. Blood boil again. Just keep peppering it in. Have something that tracks your blood boils if it helps you. But keep peppering it in. It'll be a lot of damage, especially if you start. If you're good at living, you're going to be able to naturally pull more. And when you pull more, you can hold threat. You can blood boil and get more value out of it. Your heart strikes are going to be hitting like 5 targets all the time in your death and decay. There's just a lot of positives to big pulls. Your damage, like right now, I'm doing like 16k. If you look, it's as a tank, you don't need to do insane damage. I understand the appeal of being a tank who lives but also like does crazy damage. Blood DK might not be the tank for you this expansion, because even though with the tier set we're going to be, our damage is going to go way up because of a bunch of free heart strikes, and our runic power is going to go skyrocketing up because of all the extra heart strikes during Heartbreaker. So there's a lot of positives coming our way. Double legendary will only help. However, all the other tanks are getting these things too. So we're still going to be meh on damage. I think a lot of our threat issues will feel better. But this expansion, we're not going to be some nutso top DPS tank. If you want that, you're going to want to go Paladin, or pretty much any tank is going to do more damage than us. It's kind of ridiculous, actually, but, you know, played correctly, we do insane self-sustain that the healer just doesn't have to worry about us, like, pretty much at all. So what we bring to the table, what we lack in DPS, we more than make up for in hardiness, interactive gameplay, and being able to group everything up so our team can do more damage. There's a lot of intangible value of just being able to there's a lot of intangible value of just being able to keep everything together and pull big. So we're starting to understand to really prioritize the interceptor, and as we keep going on throughout this dungeon, we get better at it. And I'm still focusing and looking at the wrong things. So it certain mechanics that I've been thinking about the whole time, I start messing up. So I'm in a bad spot here.
I'm gonna click this.
So back to the conversation that was asked, how to like emphasize more damage. There are things you can definitely do to emphasize more damage. However, it's just not in our toolkit, this expansion, to be huge damage. Pulling bigger will naturally bring your damage up as long as you can live it. If you're doing, as you said, you're doing around the 20 key level last season. I assume you don't mean this season, because this season, you know, just started and we're having trouble on 17s, 16s. If you were doing 20s, I'd say you're freaking nuts and you don't need my opinion. So if you were doing 20s last season, you know, that's definitely not bad. You're getting your portals done. But there's always room to grow. There's always room to be a better blood decay. And if you get really good rotationally to have your survivability down, then that'll allow you to pull bigger and allow you to do naturally more damage just from all the cleave. Your blood boil will do insane damage during those times. And if you are using the Crimson Rune Legendary, keep in mind that while Dancing Rune Weapon is up, it will mimic your, like, it'll do your Heart Strike. So you will Heart Strike, and your Dancing Rune Weapon that's floating will also do Heart Strike. It won't do the same amount of damage by any stretch of the means, but it is extra damage. It'll also do your Blood Boil at 33% damage. And it'll also apply your disease at 33% effectiveness. So playing Crimson Rune Weapon correctly during the right windows of time can definitely give you a lot of damage. I understand the appeal of Super Strain and its simplicity, but as we go farther and we have our 4-tier set, Crimson Rune just pulls ahead so much in its viability. I just can't see it being competitive in the higher tiers of keys this season. So I only pulled these 3 because of bolstering. I don't want to bolster these guys and have them chuck spears everywhere. I just wasn't wanting that. So these guys try to leap away, and when they leap away, if you are the tank and you are not close to them, they will throw a spear. So if anybody is away from them, they will throw a spear. Like right now he wants to. He leaped away enough to where he's going to try and hurl. See? He's trying to hurl. And he will hit any person. He'll hit anybody. It's random. So when you take these, you want to keep them. They're always jump their back away from you. So you need to face them into a wall. See, like how he jumped backwards? And now he's hurling. And he's going to hit anybody randomly. So whenever you're dealing with this pull, it doesn't say in any tooltip, but they won't throw their spears if you are in melee range of them. So that's way less damage your team is taking. So keep that in mind when you do these pulls.
After the guy dies, we probably start running kick dealers. Gotta run with those.
Back to the YouTube comment that I was talking about. Another thing you could do is you could go Venthyr right now. You could do Venthyr and you could do Bone Storm. So you could, there's a few ways you could do it. You could naturally bring your runic power all the way up, use Bone Storm, and then use Swarming Mist at the same time to bring that runic power back so you can still Death Strike and do the things you need to do. Ooh. It's such a scary week. Ooh, he got aggro on that. So I have to use a lot of cooldowns here. And I'm getting that dot is just ticking up. And things are going to die and start bolstering real soon. So I could use my grippy hands here, but I'm just taking big damage. I have a lot of the dots, so I'm just going to run away. And this dot is physical damage, so...
Oh, Braun! Out of nowhere! Was the best thing he's ever done? Got me again.
Yeah, we're chatting a lot. Like I said, this is this kind of push group that I've been playing with lately. We've been trying to get acquainted with each other. It's all goofy. So yeah, this key, we do a lot of goofy things, and we do time this key actually. So it ended up working out good. So my damage was crap there because I had to run so much.
Oh, we're going to do this weird shit? Okay.
Yeah, how do you want me to handle this? My weak aura there, I don't like that it shows how much time's left on it like that. I wanted to just show the icon when it's up instead. Alright, so I would like to do the sphere here. I think we just keep doing haste for a while until we like really think about it of what can be helpful. But I think our conclusion was to do the circle instead of haste all the time. Because of cooldown reduction, you get health while it's going on. So it gives you, like this guy gives you haste. But the other guy will give you cooldown reduction, he'll heal you, he gives mana to the healer. There's a lot of good things that he does, which is very nice in these packs to help the DPS get all their bigger cooldowns up more often. And then during bosses, using that 45 seconds of generous haste stacked with lust, I think that's what we concluded to be really good. And in this key, we actually make use of the last relic, Woe. We use him to do a skip actually, which is really cool. So if you haven't done a skip with the Woe relic yet, you'll get to see that near the end of this key, before third boss. We skip up to third boss with it, which is really cool. It's really fun. Yeah, so we're chatting. So yeah, even right here with just 3 targets, I'm doing like 6k. Now, I'm not doing anything special. I think Vial of Putrefaction is really helping out here for my single target. And I am playing Necrolord, which, you know, Necrolord actually packs a good punch too.
Just leave one Goliath alone.
But if you're pulling really big in your Venthyr with Swarming Mist, it's going to do pretty big damage. And if you have Bone Storm during big pulls, it's also going to do insane damage. So there are ways to make you do a lot more damage or improve your AoE damage. But it is at the cost of, I would say, some tankiness. So it's really up to you how you want to play your Blood DK, or what is a good sacrifice versus what isn't. I wouldn't say go Bloodworms. It's just not enough damage to justify what you lose for Bloodworms.
We spooked of double pull over here or no?
I think we'll be able to do it. I can sit on these.
I don't know. I haven't really played many other tanks at a high level, so I don't really know what it feels like to just
we
be
got
like a fat burster.
We get the we got the
Oh.
spear.
I
We got
have
the
spear. Yeah,
Nice, perfect.
Yeah, we're gonna have to spear him. Let's maybe grab this dude for his too. I think here we also go for Vi again. I think it's after this pull that we decide that would be the better choice. And I'm trying to save everything right here. I'm trying not to use anything. But if you look, my blood boil is hitting for 12k, and when I do heart strikes, they're hitting for like, you know, they can hit for pretty high too. So
Yeah,
if you're looking to improve your damage, I would say use some kind of thing like this is mixed scrolling combat text. Use something to look at what damage is going through, like what damage you're doing. That will really help you know what's hitting hard and what you need to use more of. But if you're I keep talking about the same thing, but if you're at a 20 key level from last season and you're not timing it, it's not because of your damage. At a 20, your damage is not going to be the deciding factor in a 20. Unless the real issue is aggro. In that case, you could do a rune tap, run in, double blood boil, and then go into your normal stuff. That can really help you get that initial threat.
I'll get next Inquisitor.
Glad already dead.
It was so good. That damage. Like even there, I even did 15k. So it's definitely possible to do decent damage, and you should be living through pretty much everything everything that's thrown at you. So that was scary because of the bolstering. We actually speared and lusted there because of bolstering, which might not have been the right call, but we did it anyways because we're just really afraid of the bolstering. I was trying to get him away so he wouldn't get the bolster. So if you can, prioritize the squad leader here because he gives an aura which gives other things around him damage reduction. So he will give all that little aura on him. It gives all the other mobs damage reduction. So he needs to die first. He's right here and he's in the pack after this. So when you get into this big pack after this, he needs to die first.
Yeah, Gregson.
I think the damage reduction is more valuable than however much he bolsters.
I can't decide who's right. I got a Quizzer. You know that? Oh, I got a Quizzer at Turtle Strife. In particular, like Dark Flashes.
Okay, get in here. I'm gonna do slappy hands, blood boil, and just start going hard. Doing whatever I can. So, I mean, I definitely led with decent damage. It wasn't insane, but it was decent damage to start. At least to make sure I had all threat. You know, threat's acting weird because the elemental's out. Oh my gosh, so many explodies. Explosions are fire damage, so if you know one's going to go out, you can AMS to take less damage, or you can drop AMZ for everybody else if you're fast enough. But usually, if you have enough time to AMZ for everybody, you could have just killed the thing. But I'm saying it is an option.
I don't have anything for the
I got it now. We're good. We got them all. I got the weapon. I got it.
Oh, guys, we're over there not getting bolstered. That's great.
Oh, he's not getting bolstered. Just ran.
I thought that was like a strat. So we
Nope,
get
it was
bolstered.
just incompetence.
At least he's honest.
So, yeah, we're kind of just goofing off. We're trying to learn. It's only our second key together as for season
Why? I don't think
for
I can.
9.2 season 3. This is only our second key together. We did the 17, which wasn't timed, but now the 16 we do time.
Yeah, you're fine.
So this time we definitely want to prioritize getting Vi for the haste. Like, that's for sure. And I think we don't. I think we accidentally get CDR. Because things were dying at the same time instead of,
Couple orbs.
you know, different.
Someone,
Yeah, we got CDR instead.
we got the not buy one.
So it's not the one we wanted for this boss. Especially because we don't have lust now because we used it on that double pull with spear.
What?
What?
I might die because I used it on the dude, but it didn't actually work. It didn't count as a death or something.
So Pro Void is using, I don't know too much how Shadow Priest work, but apparently there's an ability or a legendary that encourages a play where if you use it and they don't die by the time it ends, it kills you instead. So it works on
Anyone else having zero fun this fight?
it works on these explosives. You put it on there, it dies, you get this big buff from it. So it's something you can use, but the problem he's having is it's hitting the boss instead, and the boss isn't dying from it. So
I'm gonna stay near range and SLT if I get too low, because I don't have any other defenses.
it ends up killing him instead. So it's like, I don't know for sure, but it seems like from the gameplay, it can give him a big buff if the thing dies, or if it expires, he will die. I'm sure somebody could correct me on that, but that's what it sounded when we were talking. What was happening?
Alright, sorry, just kidding. This is just kinda chaos.
This is macros putting it back on the boss. That one was an orb though. Ooh.
This explosive slap. We're gonna need a resin.
You did, we did. I'm gonna have to
There's just no
cool
way.
down
P
myself.
hands are up.
I might die here. I don't even know if I can heal myself through this debuff right now. Yeah, we'll be fine.
I need that.
So did that one actually work for him?
Please don't hit me.
Oh, that's fucking. Yo,
He
guys,
got
we're
knocked
fucking
up
good
there.
this.
It's funny like how you do these mechanics and like, I don't know, it's different being a DPS versus a tank for this fight.
Why am I dying?
Orbs
What's
going
going
this
on
way.
here? I might die again.
Wait, why are you gonna die?
Because of surrender.
Under the madness.
Oh, I understand. I understand surrender. Just
Mm.
I targeted
Yeah, it's called like
the-
surrender
I
to
just did the
madness.
macro, so it's only mouse over.
I don't exactly know how the whole thing works, but I think he's accidentally hitting it on the boss when he means to hit it on an explosive.
Trying to single-handedly trash this key.
Can we please kill this?
I concur. Can we please kill?
So
I can't release it.
poor Pro Void
I just made it so that it's only
using a
working on
new
the-
kind of like rotation to see how he likes it, and there's just a couple mechanical issues,
happened?
and I think it was just macro
There, you
related.
surrender again?
I used surrender on an explosive,
Oh.
which should work. It definitely should work. But the madness
So
of
up
all
here is the
guys-
interesting part where we use
No,
Woe,
it's
the
definitely
the
just-
relic called Woe,
anything that
which is
says
the square.
give me a
to give
resurrection,
us-
Death and Madness will give me-
It gives you invisibility and it gives
but
you
my macro falls back to my current target,
speed,
so maybe I
like
will
crazy
cross
movement
over it.
speed, to where you can just boom, skip all the way to the boss,
Oh, yep.
and it lasts for a long time. This would be insanely valuable in DOS,
But we can grab the
and once you see it, you're gonna understand why. All those long hallways where you can't mount up,
I mean, that's what's funny to me.
skip past that.
we do need
Like almost the entire Mechagon wing, skip past that.
I don't know if this works without the lieutenant here
So
anymore.
yeah, we want to kill the square one here.
until I change my route.
Bring it down. Alright, cool. It's dead. I think I grip your hands here. I'm not sure. Maybe I don't commit it. Maybe I wait. I think I wait actually.
The last key.
So Drifter has an ability called Burst. You just want to make sure you kick that. Somebody has to kick it.
And then we should have crazy.
So then we kill him and check this out. This is so awesome.
I don't trust it. I'm not sure I
And
trust this.
here we go.
It's still-
Realm.
It's not invis, so
I
definitely
trust.
Like this side.
I'm gonna jump over the wall too.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if we needed to actually jump this. It doesn't look like we did, but we did anyways.
Holy shit, this is so
45 more seconds to this and go around the map at this time.
I don't have CDs yet, so.
Okay, get behind the pillars.
I have
Well,
a
let's
right.
go back around the map again for fun. We had 40 more seconds of that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like you can do some
so
pretty awesome
raw.
skips with this.
That's gonna be so good in DOS.
If used well, I think having a rogue is not as valuable as it has been for the last like 2 years, just for the seasonal affix, in terms of shroud reasons. But it's still super nice. And then
Let's look up right during
it goes back.
phase. Okay.
Like
That was
as soon as you exit combat, it comes back. Like so you can do your shroud stuff again,
Stomps, or should I use 1 minute?
or your invisibility stuff again.
Oh, I have like almost.
At this one, I like blood boil on cooldown and do my grippy hands,
Start of the fight, so
and that's how I'm, getting up to the damage I am.
fast.
I'm gonna lust the burn phase. We should get it back with 2 minutes left in the dungeon.
Alright, let's go right on this thing.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we get relic again, and so these relics will just go to whoever.
Come here.
So I have to kind of blood boil them twice to make sure they're on me. It's kind of weird.
I grouped over there.
Okay, yeah, I'll go this way.
I don't know which one we're killing here. Okay, we did get Vi, which is nice. And so we figure out, this is kind of hectic, this seasonal affix, and then getting this thing. So these little mini boss things, this fight in particular is very awkward because you can't aggro them.
Careful.
Like, I mean, you can aggro them, but I can't keep aggro on them. You can't grip them. Like, I wish I could just grip it in, but I can't. So I'm sitting here trying to, like, I'm trying to hit it and worry about this mechanic, bring him in, put some hits on him. It's just, this is a crappy boss to deal with, this guy who's blinking around shooting at people.
So let's kill this guy.
I'm
Yeah, we need
working
Vi to
on
die.
Oh, this is
Oh no, this is terrible.
So for this fight, I always do
here.
Don't let me kill Vi,
anti-magic
okay?
shield or
Kill the
anti-magic
boss,
shell.
we have to.
I absorb which ones I can, and then once it runs out, I actually come over here in AMC and finish them out here, so I can heal up.
You held Richter now.
Let me know if you need me to soak some of these with cloak. On the next one.
Maybe we should have lusted with Vi up and had the last half of lust
Oh,
for that.
yep.
Lesson learned.
I'm gonna save cloak unless you need me to use.
So this is where we're talking about, like, we need to really prioritize killing these seasonal affix before really dealing with the boss, so we get as much as we can out of it, or maybe assigning a person or two to deal with it, because you want that buff as quickly as possible.
You're slightly on my range. You should be fine with your shield though.
I need the next.
Yeah, I can heal myself too.
Explosive. Don't take it.
But damage is looking good, single target.
Waiting for an
The haste we got definitely helps in this fight.
Get it?
Oh, what is this?
At the cost of that orb.
Oh no, I didn't do that actually.
Sorry, this is weird.
Sorry.
Need the next one if I
It's
can.
crazy powerful right now.
Yeah, so orbs got a little messed up there, New affix, we're thinking about a lot of things at once, just trying to get it comfortable, because right now it's not.
Fine. We have 10 minutes for just the top.
But now it's pretty much standard fight. And we're looking pretty good on time. It's not insane time, but it's not bad. And because there's no more lieutenants anymore, I won't be taking increased physical damage, and I won't be slowed either, which is great. Because my normal routine is I would skip both those guys. Okay, same thing. AMS until it runs out. Then I'm going to anti AMZ for myself. I'm just going to take these and keep hitting the boss.
He's
10 minutes to the
DDD
top
dead.
on critical. Should be okay. We have, what it calls? We have massive spell for boss too.
Yeah,
Maybe-
whip out imp after my first turn. So
And,
Yeah, maybe
oh
we
my
don't
God.
double pull because of. Well, I guess we could.
I don't have a. I don't have.
Yeah,
a
not much to talk about right here.
Safe here. We have time.
Okay, I
We
was
have a
worried
ton
about
of
holster.
single target damage.
Yeah, I was worried about
They'd say
holster, but
big
it's
eye.
like, why?
don't have to, if we're not slowed, we don't take double damage from the dash. Like, it's just gonna be, we're gonna walk around normal speed. It's gonna be so fucking great.
Talking over
I'm
me.
gonna make hellstones when we land here.
Yes, please.
All right, so we talked about getting 2 angels, but I mean,
I'm a late.
it's not an issue because bolstering won't matter because they'll both die around the same time. So I don't think that would be the issue, but we're fine on time. And I mean, if you look at our comp, we are so single target oriented that it's not going to matter too much, I don't think. We weren't that strapped for time where we should put ourselves in a position to fail.
There it is. Hell yeah.
If you want a lot of single target for bosses, Night Phase pretty good for single target with the Naya Soulbind. Naya's pretty good for that. So whenever I use Theater of Pain, if we already have a Necrolord, I'll actually go Night Fae for Theater of Pain. If you don't have a Necrolord, then obviously, you know, getting what you need trumps all that.
That cursor just went way up.
So, yeah, kill angels. Really, all the fun stuff is over. I mean, the coolest part of that whole dungeon was really that skip that we did. It just opens up so many opportunities, and just seeing how that skip works in action was really cool. That was definitely very fun. Alright, looking good.
Whole boss immediately after and just focus the haste guy.
So I grab my health stones, rocket boost over there, and just go hard on this guy.
That little spear, dude. That had
Get a
so
spear on.
what a weak arm. So
There's a lob.
I need the next explosive.
Another thing you can do to up your damage is using potions too. So like Phantom Fire Potion would really help with single target. You know, stuff like that. But if you're using rocket boosts on your belt or nitro boosts, it's gonna mess up your timers for that. It puts a minute on your potions. So I should be using more consumables during bosses especially, but I use my rocket or my nitro boost so often that I don't end up having it for bosses, which is a issue on my, you know, an issue for myself there.
You're rock.
Yeah, his earth elemental kept getting aggro and I couldn't move him. I couldn't position him anywhere, which kind of sucked.
Yeah, that rock just wasn't letting me position.
I guess I should have just taunted.
Oh my god.
Is someone else? Oh, I'm the only res. God damn it. Resing.
I wonder if he tried to use his buff right there
Drink too before.
and it didn't die in time.
Does anyone have the corgi toy?
Also for this angel here, you can if you have the toy that turns her into a corgi, you can actually do that and the wings won't be flapping in your face.
Alright, we got 5.5. We should be fine. Everyone runs to the middle after missions for MD.
Good to go.
Yep.
So far.
Someone focusing the thing we need to focus.
I can. I'll put a couple into Vi.
Dying.
So be careful on this fight when you're trying to deal with these relics. Don't get hit with a freaking run through.
Careful. Everyone in. Fuck. Sirs. Spelling rogue first.
Airlines. I'm just gonna hard prio Vi. I want this guy
Me
to
too,
do
me
it.
too.
Yeah, just kill Vi as fast as we can. Get ready to move in.
Nice. So now we have our haste.
I want to SLT this one.
It's pretty good haste too. And you get 45 seconds of it, so
Let me
it's
know
very
who you want
nice.
me to dispel, or who you're dispelling. I'll get the other.
Oh, I didn't know you did that already. Cool.
I got
Getting
it
myself. Getting myself.
Okay.
So yeah, a lot of conversation going on, which is nice. Like, That's the big benefit of being able to play with a group of like the same people, is we can really communicate.
Yeah, stage right or
And
Oh shit.
I actually met Provoid from his YouTube channel, and when he announced that he was going to be,
Killing myself.
in the spell.
instead of playing Blood DK as his main, he was going to play Shadow Priest. Sorry, I hit the microphone. So when he said that, and then he also said his healer was going to be playing DPS too. And it was just like, 3 of them are playing DPS now instead of tank, healer, damage. They were all going to play damage this next season. I was like, dude, this would fit perfectly because I play with Archie all the time as tank healer combo. So I was like, hey, would you guys be open to playing together so we can all, you know, reliably have a composition?
These zones kind of far.
And so far it's been working out great. The timing, I don't know how the time works for everybody else, but for me it's been pretty good.
Zone out to target me. Defensive if you have it.
Heal myself.
So we're waiting for Lust to come back.
33.
I forgot.
A little ways to go.
But we still have 3 minutes and he's almost at 50%, which is pretty nice.
Getting priest.
Damage is a little rough right now, but I think we're all just kind of saving up everything we can for the Lust. No, maybe not.
If Lust comes up this phase, should I use it or should I wait till next phase?
Probably wait till next phase.
Getting myself.
Oh shit, I gotta give him back.
Oh,
Trip him? Oh no, he doesn't need it. It's fine.
use the defensive.
I don't have SLT yet.
So we made a decision to do Lust after this phase when she comes back down from the sky, to just really finish it out.
Yeah, if the thing's on.
Because if we Lust now, we're going to push her, and then she's going to go to the sky, and we're going to have a lot of, I think we'd miss out on some of our haste from the Lust. Yeah, because it's about to come up now, and she pushes at like 30%, so yeah, we definitely would have wasted Lust if we popped it right when it came up.
Gotta run.
So it was the good call to wait.
Get close.
SLT in this one. Oh, it's not for 2 seconds. Pop defensive. Sucks. 2 seconds off. Get ready, phase. Killing priest.
33 was the fucking noise.
Have a name.
Big class.
I'm not just a sexy master spell.
Feeling
That's
weighty.
exactly what you are this fight.
Alright, so I kind of got a little unlucky here, but this is a really cool play. The Shadow Priest giveth, and the Shadow Priest taketh away. So he life grips me in to get me there quicker.
A useful yoink?
Right?
You know what this means?
I haven't been watching.
I'm actually, I'm just gonna click here.
Middle.
That's the spell.
And there we go, now we lusted up.
I need
Finish this out. But we are running low on time, it is getting a little scary.
Burn 50 seconds.
Huh, during Lust doesn't look like he's using his Tyrant. I wonder what's going on there.
SLT this and worry about defenses.
I don't know the class, but
Oh, I put it outside.
there, now he presses it, okay. He was saving it until he had enough imps to go with it, I think. And then, that's it.
Nice.
Yo, let's
195 points for that.
Yeah, I think
It just-
16 is our benchmark right now.
I
21
just hit through that SLT like 7 feet outside the bubble.
Oh yeah, meat shield. So nice to get that upgraded.
Guys, look what I
So,
got.
there's the damage breakdown. Pause it if you need to.
Grace.
No shot.
Oh, it's so great. It's so nice. It's so nice.
I was just thinking. Can I safely hearth?
Alright,
Is your
and there's my healing.
I'm actually
Oh, why not?
considering putting that on.
It was during intermission and we lost it.
Alright.
No, he has it.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching.
Okay.
If you want to help a smaller Blood DK channel grow, please consider liking the video and commenting.
Do we want to reroll any?
Or subscribing. Whatever you want to do. Alright. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.